Hello, my name is Agatha, and this is the astrological reading for the month of August 2016 for the sign of Leo. And the new moon happens on the 2nd of August, almost at 11 degrees of Leo, and then the full moon happens on the 18th of August at almost 26 degrees of Aquarius. And what does this mean to you, Leo? In your case, the new moon happens on your first house. So, what can it mean to you? It could mean that around the 2nd of August, you are spending time beautifying yourself. You decide to buy new clothes, to buy stuff that will make you feel beautiful and comfortable, and viewed in a very positive way by others. It could be perfumes, clothes, something like that. You might even overspend in stuff like that, so be careful with it. If for others it could be even the beginning of a new love relationship, and it could even be with someone who's a foreigner, or let's say you go on a trip abroad and you meet someone abroad. Might even be someone who is from even the same town as you and is not a foreigner, but you happen to meet him or her abroad. It could even be that. So it could be the beginning of a new relationship, or it could have another meaning. So in the theme of beautifying yourself, some of you might be considering doing plastic surgery of some kind. If it's something mild, the beauty treatments that you do to yourself, if it's something mild, it's more or less okay, even though you have to be really aware of the stuff you put in your body, creams and lotions, and you have to be aware of that. But if it's something which is not mild, which is actual plastic surgery, lipo, whatever, you have to be aware of the doctor you choose to do that. Because if you do not choose the proper doctor, you might have to revise, the work that you have done. Okay, you don't want to revise it. Okay, so choose, even if this doctor is very good. And even if he or she is expensive, it's better to pay and to have the guarantee that you don't have to revise the work again later on, that the job gets done well. Also, you might go with an idea in your head, with a picture, saying to the doctor, to the plastic surgeon, I want this person's nose, I want that person's chin, I want his or hers eyebrows, right? And the doctor might tell you, no, I'm sorry, no, you cannot, because your structure is not, it's impossible to do that type of work in your face. I'm saying face, it could be anything else. So you might have to understand that you have to only do a few things. Instead of the 100% of things that you wanted to do, you end up only doing 10% of it or 20% of it, because it's not possible to do the rest. So if you end up with a good plastic surgeon, this person will tell you, the doctor will tell you, if you end up with a bad plastic surgeon, it might have a negative effect in your body. Okay, so be aware of that and choose carefully. Also, another thing that you have to be careful with is the anesthetics, the anesthesia. If you have to do any type of surgery to beautify yourself that makes you go under, there might be some type of problem with the anesthetics. So maybe you are, I don't know, let's say allergic to some sort of medicine, and you didn't know that before, and the doctors only understand that in the moment they're doing the surgery. So be aware of that. Okay, be aware of that, and try to be safe as much as you can. And if you can wait, you don't have to do this treatment already, do you? And you're already beautiful. You're a Leo. Leos are a little bit vain, just a little bit vain. This is the new moon, and then the full moon, Leo, in your case, happens in the 7th house. So what does this mean? It could mean you it could be a contract, so you sign up a contract. Maybe you were in talks with a company or of some kind, and around the 18th of August then the contract is signed. It could be something as simple as freelance work, not exactly going to work to an actual company, but it could be something that you do online, in the comfort of your house as freelance worker. It could be to a foreign client, it could be to a foreign company, or you could be working for a foreign company within your own country. Could be that. For others, it could be something to do with your second child. So there's an end or culmination in the life of your second child. It could be many things. He or she could, go to college or to school for the first time, or end his studies or her studies, end college course, finds the first job, or leaves the job and goes to another place of employment. He or she might have a kid, something to do with his life or her life. Could be something else, for instance, he or she is working in something related to software, to computers. Let's imagine that he or she is doing working on a game, and your kid is working, your second child is working on that game for a very long time. So around the 18th of August, finally the game is done, and he publishes it, or she publishes that game. Or the 7th house has to do with your long-term partnership. So it could, some of you might end a partnership, it happens, it could be that. So 2 weeks ago you decided to focus more on yourself. Maybe there's something that wasn't going, for some, not for all, exactly right with your marriage, if you are married, or with your partnership, and then you just decided to end it. Maybe for others this decision, or both of you, not just you, this decision to end this relationship has to do, it could be a long distance relationship. So maybe your boyfriend or girlfriend, for instance, or your partner, more boyfriend and girlfriend, went to study abroad or went to work abroad, and you decided to have a long distance relationship, but then you understood, both of you probably, that this was not working out, and you both decided to end. For others it could be moving on to the next step. So you are with someone for a while, and then he or she might approach you and talk to you and say, hey, what if we get engaged? What if we get married? It could be, it depends. For some it ends, for others it moves on to the next stage of your life. What else? It might have nothing to do with you or with your kid. It might have something to do with your spouse or partner. Something to do with work. A culmination in his work or her work. For instance, he or she might get a promotion and more money. It could be that. For others, it could be the end of employment. But this end of employment doesn't mean necessarily that is something unexpected. It depends. For some, it could be unexpected. For others, it could be something planned. Imagine that your spouse or your partner is not happy in the place where he or she works, because he or she thinks that the environment is really hostile and really venomous and really bad, and everyone is really trying to control and manipulate, and he or she can no longer work there and wants to have a complete and total transformation of his work life or her work life. Or the money isn't sufficient, so maybe something is planned because your spouse or your partner decides to immigrate, to go to a different country, because you have plans, both of you have plans, and maybe you cannot fulfill those plans, like for instance buying a house, like for instance having kids, having children if you do not have them. with the pay that he or she gets, that both of you get. So he or she decides to, emigrate, therefore this job ends. It can have another meaning because it's the sixth house, meaning because the why do I say this? Yeah, it could be the partner. Yeah. Why do I say sixth house? Because Pluto is transiting right now, Leo, your sixth house. So it's the problem could be with you also, in terms of, it could be not exactly he doesn't like, or she doesn't like being in his work environment. You might not like being in your work environment, and you might want to leave, and this is like the catalyst that will help your spouse emigrate with you, for instance. There could be also something to do with your health, with like ending a treatment, ending a medical treatment of some kind. For instance, it could be you. I'm thinking spouse as well, because the sixth house is the 12th house of your partner. So it could be treatment, could be medical treatment as well, of your partner, not necessarily of your own medical treatment. What else? Set nov. So the combination to do with your spouses might have to do with, for instance, college. He or she might finally end his college studies, or her college studies, something like that. And that's it, Leo. This is the reading that I have for you. This is a very general reading. I hope you have a great month. If you like a private consultation, please send an email to tuniasa@gmail.com. I'd be delighted to work with you. That's it. Bye.